I thought I'd do a little review today on the Boost bottle since I haven't seen a lot of reviews where people have actually been using one. So I just hit 1,000 miles with mine and I've been pretty happy with it since it's been installed. I guess I've only had it on for 900 miles, but I mean, that's quite a bit. So, and what I've really noticed that it helps with is it's not necessarily a power adder or anything of that nature, but I've noticed that at higher RPM, the the motor's a lot smoother, and I get a lot better gas mileage at higher RPM too, which makes sense because the higher the RPM, the more gas you're going to be spitting back through the porting, and it seems like this seems to catch quite a bit of it. You can kind of see even some fluid sitting in there and some fluid up in there, so it gets up in there, and yeah, I've really been happy with the way it runs. The engine vibrates a whole heck of a lot less at RPM. It just seems like it just really helps into the RPMs. That's really what I can say about it, and it's worth buying. I've gotten a lot better gas mileage with it. There are some things to address with it when you have one, like this is kind of interesting, but I got my carburetor turned all the way down. It'll idle just fine with that, and I adjust my idle with my idle mixture screw. And the reason I do that is because on given days, certain humidity levels, temperature levels, it likes more or less fuel, and I've really noticed I can get really good performance out of these NT carburetors if I just stay on top of the adjustment every day. Once it gets fully warmed up, and then I set it to however it gets the best throttle response, when you got your hand on there and you give it a rev. Um, anyway, I've just been really pleased with it because I just really can't say enough on how much less throttle I've had to use. It really, I didn't even like the motorized bike until I put it on there. I run about, here's like normal throttle, I got a little play in my handle. Here's just, here's idle throttle. And then I'm running only about idle throttle. That much different, and I'm going like 20, 25 miles an hour. Obviously I have to give it a little bit more to get there, but once I'm there, it's pretty good cruising speed, and I've got on like 50, 80 mile round trips without this tank even full, and I still have a sufficient amount left. So I've been pretty impressed. But the other thing I have to do with it is, since I installed this boost bottle, I have to let my bike warm up for about 5 minutes. Before then, it's almost like it's lean. I'll crack the throttle, and it's like it bogs, and it's just too lean. So if you do install a boost bottle, I believe, don't get discouraged at first, because I sure was, but after I let it sit there and run for 5 minutes and I hopped on it and gave it some throttle, it really took off. So it really helps with that, and I guess a lot of people probably aren't real interested in low-end torque, but it really helps with the low end. Um, it can really, with these huge tires, I let the clutch out at about 6, 7, 8 miles an hour, and it'll get right up to 15 in a hurry, which really amazes me, because, I mean, it's just a big bike, and I'm a 200-pound guy, but it'll get right up and go, and I believe that's attributed to the boost bottle as well. But again, I can't stress enough that you really have to have that carburetor dialed in just right. And and since I installed this, I run a one notch richer on the slide pin. I've noticed that's really helped it to run better. So, but anyway, as you can see, only being in the throttle that much, and when I'm idling at hardly any throttle at all anyway, that's pretty efficient. So, and naturally I ported my intake and my exhaust, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So if you're afraid to get one, you know, for the price, they're not bad. The only people I really see, well, a lot of people say negative things about them, that they don't work and whatnot, but on these bikes, I believe they do, and I feel like I have merit when I say that because I have 1,000 miles on my bike, so, and 900 with the boost bottle on it. So anyway, the only people I think that don't like them on the motorized bike are people who either can't tune a carburetor, A, or B, have never used one. So, and for only 20 or 30 bucks, if you're thinking about doing it, you might as well go ahead and do it, because I really liked it. And they give plenty of good instructions on how to install it in there and tap it into your intake, well, whatever you want to call that, intake manifold, I guess. But anywho, there you have it. I wouldn't be afraid to install one on any motorized bike that you might have. So, wish you the best.